Today's topic is on error control coding. What is error control coding and what is the need for this? So, as far as digital communication is considered, before modulation, we used to perform source coding as well as channel coding. So, source coding is the place where you convert your binary sequence into digital waveform sequence. Okay, that is going to be your message sequence. So, that message sequence has to be encoded by means of a channel encoder where you can reduce the error probability. So, on reducing the error probability, you can increase the signal to noise ratio. That is, this is going to decide the probability of the error which is going to occur in your transmitted data. So, you are going to transmit the data over a channel which depends upon transmission power as well as channel bandwidth. So, these are the two parameters. Along with that, you are going to have the power spectral density which determines the signal to noise ratio. So, this signal to noise ratio determines the probability of the error. So, why we go for this error probability is it can reduce the probability of error occurring by means of this channel coding technique. So, what you do in channel coding? So, how it is done is you see a simple digital communication system where the channel encoding is performed. Here you are going to have the input message signal. This has to be encoded by means of a channel encoder and then modulated, put it on to the channel. In the channel there is a possibility of the noise to get added up and you are going to transmit. So, after transmission you are going to receive this. So, this is being received. The received signal is going to be having the noise signal along with the channel encoded data and this has to be demodulated. We perform the channel decoding which is the reverse operation or reverse replica of your encoding process, what you have done at the transmitter side, and you retrieve the message signal. So, what you actually do in encoding and what you do in decoding, that you will see. So, what the encoder does is you are going to add extra bits to the original message signal. So, adding of this extra bits refers to redundant bit. Adding a redundant bit to the message signal is called as encoding. What is decoding is? You have to remove the added redundant bit and for that you have to identify where these redundant bits are sitting along with the message signal. So, you have to detect it and if there is any error you have to correct that errors and you retrieve the original message signal. Okay. And what is the drawback of this channel encoding is, since you are not only transmitting your message signal, along with the message signal you are going to add extra bits, that is the redundant bit, and this is going to occupy more number of bandwidth. So, obviously it occupies more data rate, hence the system is said to be complex. But even though it is complex, but you can reduce the error due to this channel encoded transmission process. That is the main idea behind the channel encoding, and this we call it as error control codes. So, there are two types of error control codes, mainly one is block code, another one is convolutional code. So, what is a block code? So, a block code is comprising of n number of bits. So, it comprises of n number of bits, that is one block. So, one block is said to be one code word. So, what this code word comprises of is, it comprises of the message bits along with the redundant bits. So, you call this, so a code word is going to consist of k number of message bits. It comprises of k number of message bits and n minus k number of redundant bits. So, where n is the total number of bits in a code word. So, k bits are message bits, n is the total number of code word bits sitting. So, this n minus k is the number of redundant bits which you are going to add to the message signal. So, such a code is called as a block code and it is always represented as n minus k. So, n refers the number of bits in a code word and k refers the number of messages in the message bits in the code word In general, a block code is represented by n minus k block code. Next is convolutional code. So what is this code? So this code is going to be operated in a discrete time convolution of the input sequence with the input response of the encoder. The convolutional code accepts the message bits continuously and generates the encoded sequence continuously. So it is going to be a continuous time varying function. So this message bit is going to come one by one. The previous case, that is in the block codes, you will be having a block set of bits arriving. For those set of bits arriving, you add redundant bit and then you encode. The encoded bit is transmitted. Whereas in convolutional code, it is going to be for a bit by bit process, you are going to encode, do the encoding continuously and generated the encoded sequence also in a continuous way. Other classifications of this error control code is linear code and non-linear code. What do you mean by a linear code? If two code words of the linear code are added by the modulo 2 arithmetic, then this procedure produces a third code word in the code set. Suppose if you are going to have a set of code words, in those set of code words you take two code words, you add those two by modulo 2 arithmetic. Modulo 2 arithmetic is nothing but applying XOR operation, okay, doing XOR operation to two bits, successive bits in the code word. When you do so, you will be getting a code word which is not going to be the list existing in the list of code words already existing, it will not be available. So such a code word is called as a linear code word. Next is non-linear code. Addition of a non-linear does not necessarily produce third code word. Suppose you are going to add two sequences. When you are adding two sequences or two sets of code words, the resulting added code word need not be a third new one. It may be existing in the code set. For example, assume 0 1 0 1 0 0. So what is 0 1 0? 2 1 0 0 is 4. Next is take the sixth one. What is 6? 1 1 0. Okay. Suppose if you are adding 0 1 0 1 0 0, that is you perform modulo 2 addition is applying XOR operation. So XOR 0 0 is 0, 1 0 is 1, 0 1 is 1, 1 1 is also 0. So what is this? It is 1 1 0. What I have done is I have added two things, 2 and 4 added, 2 plus 4 is 6, that is 1 1 0. So this is the set of code word available. The addition results in a third, it is not being a new word, it is already existing in the list. So such a code word on addition does not lead to or produce a third code word is called as a non-linear code. Whereas linear one is, if I am adding these two things, this may not be in the list, then you call it as a linear code. Next you will see the correction methods, how you can have the error control coding corrected. So redundant bit acts as a check bit. So with the help of this check redundant bit only, you are going to check or detect where the bit has gone into error or not. So all errors cannot be detected and corrected. So there is a limitation. Only one bit may be corrected or two bit may be corrected. So you can't correct all the error bits which has occurred in the data sequence to be corrected. Check bits reduces the data rate through the channel. So this is going to be the drawback of this. Okay. So how you are going to do the methods of error controlling? One is forward acting error correction. Another one is error detection with a retransmission. Forward acting error correction is errors are detected and corrected at the receiver using proper coding technique. Whatever coding technique you use at the transmitter, the similar coding technique has to be used at the receiver. So with that you match it or compare it. We will see the procedures, how you are going to do that with the help of the problems. Okay. So you are going to detect it and correct it. The capability of the receiver depends on the number of redundant bits transmitted in the message. So depending upon that, you do a proper decoding process at the receiver end to detect it. It is going to be a faster process, but probability of error may be high. In this case, all error bits cannot be corrected in this case. So the probability of error is going to be high, but it is going to be a faster method. So this method is called as forward acting error correction, which we do it in the receiver side. Whereas the second one is error detecting with retransmission. Okay, what you are going to do, retransmission is, here decoder is going to check the input sequence. If any error is detected, it discards that entire part of the sequence. Whatever data bit it has received, it will just discard it. It won't go for correction and all. It will request the transmitter to retransmit that sequence once again. Okay, do not correct it. It will request the transmitter to retransmit it. So the problem is, retransmission will slow down the process of transmission, because suppose you have transmitted 10 bits. For transmitting the 10 bits, you may need 1 millisecond time period to transmit. Assume that is the data rate. Okay. When you are on receiving that, you have utilized the bandwidth also. You have wasted the time also. Now you send a message to retransmit the same set of 10 bits. So one more 1 millisecond time period is needed. Once again the bandwidth is going to be consumed. So here it is going to be a slow process, but the probability of error when compared to the fast forwarding acting error correction is going to be less in this case. So this is the two different error controlling methods possible in case of a digital communication receivers. Next we will see what are the types of error possible. So there are two types of error possible. One is random error, another one is burst error. What is random error? So you are going to have a sequence of bits. Okay, in that sequence of bits, at some particular intervals of time, you may be having some of the error to occur. So totally the error are uncorrelated. There is no relation between the first bit and the second bit. Then we call it as a random error. It happens in a random manner in an entire sequence. Burst error is, this is due to the impulse noise in the channel. This noise is due to the lightning effect or switching off any of the buttons in your entire system, receiver system. This noise burst affects several successive symbols. Such errors are called as burst errors. So this I can explain you with an example. Suppose I have got a sequence. Assume this is the sequence being transmitted. This is being received. So you can see there is a change in the second bit, and there is, after some interval of time, there is a change in the another bit. So if this error occurs after a particular interval of time, say after 10 bits or 100 bits or 200 bits, whatever it may be, it is going to occur randomly. You can't predict. Even here also it can happen in the third, fourth bit or fifth bit also. So whenever it happens randomly in a sequence, then you call it as a random error. Whereas in case of burst error, we will take the same example, 110 111 001. Assume this was a transmitted bit. So you can observe that for this entire stretch, the received bits are wrong, gone. 1 was transmitted, 0 received, 0 transmitted, 1 received. and here also once again. So this type of error where there is consecutive successive symbols, there is a change. Several successive symbols, there is a error. Then we call this as burst error. Hope you understood the difference between a random error and a burst error. Now we will see some of the terms which is related to this error control coding. Before you see what is the error control coding and what are the types of it, how to solve it and all, how to form a code and all, we will see what are the terms related to this error control code. Error control code, we call a term called as code word. So this is going to be the encoded block of n number of bits in it, where the n number of bits is message bits plus redundant bits. Another one is block length. This refers to the number of bits after coding. Suppose there are 4 message bits and 3 redundant bits. What is this? Total is 7. So block length is 7. So number of bits after coding is called as block length. Next is code rate. The ratio of the message bit k and encoded output bits n is called as the code rate. So you know k is the number of message bits and n is the size of the block code or number of bits in one block. The ratio between these two will give you the code rate, where rate lies between 0 and 1. Next is channel data rate. Channel data rate is denoted as R0. It is the bit rate at the output of the encoder. So it is the reverse of this, ratio of n by k into rs, where rs is the bit rate at the input of the encoder. So you know you are going to have the channel encoder. Input of the bit rate is rs, output of the bit rate is going to be your R0. Okay, so it is the bit rate at the output of the encoder, and this is the bit rate at the input of the encoder, which is R0 is related to rs divided by r, or in other words it is n by k into rs.